Hey people, Intro here, 3v3, Hades Wastes, blue team. Couple of Warlocks, we have Mickey and SorroWfuL lived. These are melee spellcasters that leap into combat with some powerful disruption and support. Alongside them, RaksoMan 93 as a Mekboy, a teleporting hero fighting in ranged combat with a bunch of orky gadgets, red team. Jamboo's Eversor assassin, a risk-reward melee brawler that explodes on death. Another Ordo Malleus player is Palaz with a brother captain, a durable hero walking through objects cannot be suppressed with powerful offense and support fighting in melee. Rounding off the teams, Zeno with a plague champion. Starts with the damage of a time bolt gun, can get to melee weapons, can debilitate enemies and support allies, even repair your stuff. Shooting at some guardians at the moment. There's some Nurgle worship to help out. Warlock coming through, looking for a destructor on some heretics, I'm sure, but they are busy worshipping. Oh, not anymore. Gets onto the plague champion, now looking for destructor, I think. Looks like the heretics were far enough away to confound that Warlock, who's now tying up the plague champion. Meanwhile, on the west side, contested victory point here. A push from Jamboo's Eversor assassin. The strike squad get leaped on, and here come some howling banshees. Decent amount of damage already on the strike squad from the double guardians and the Warlock. Banshees giving chase. Destructor lands pretty decently on the stormtroopers. Eversor assassin leaves the banshees. Their power weapons are massive threat to the strike squad, and those guys drop a model. Also get a couple of models off the stormtroopers. Great start for the howling banshees. Eversor assassin, meanwhile, getting very upset. Kills a guardian, but that was it. Good fight and a good start for Mickey, who can now grab the VP, maybe even touch the power here with banshees and double guardians. A generator is thrown up by Jamboo, but I think the node is going down over on the eastern side. This is the natural victory point of the red team being now decapped by SorroWfuL lived, and the natural of the blue team decapped by Palaz, brother captain. Lots of dead orcs here. Oh, RaksoMan actually lost his sluggers and had to replace them. Well, there we go. What do we think happened there? Strike squad catching them in retreat, maybe. They do have their Tomes of Titan trying to heal up at base. Meanwhile, they actually got the gen and the node, I think. Unless the generator was just cancelled at some point. Really strong start for Mickey. SorroWfuL lived now with a guardian weapon team on the way. RaksoMan, no upgrades yet. Is there war gear? There is war gear. We have a death gun on the Mekboy. Can suppress units with this in a limited firing arc, and he can teleport around while the weapon is set up. Takes him well to get into position, and there's the Daka. We are the hammer popped. Brother captain can't be suppressed by the death gun, and doesn't really care about the damage he's taken either at the moment. Just walked on through there, stomping, breaking stuff. Mekboy teleports forward into the face of those stormtroopers. That was really painful. Brother captain has to flee. Gives a bit of support though. Zeno arriving a little bit late to save Palaz, and sluggers immediately get in on the CSM, but there's Havocs lying in wait with a heavy bolter to suppress them. Sluggers off the field now. Double guardians diving a bit. They do have grenade available on one of them. That's a good destructor on those two CSM models there. Some Nurgle worship helping them out, but I think they would have been okay. And they're able to escape. Playing defensive at the moment is Zeno, trying to invite the Eldar and the Orks onto that heavy bolter Havoc squad. There's the banishment. Decent hit on the guardians. Didn't take a model though. They now both have battle equipment for the plasma grenade and fleet of foot, and it gives him energy shields as well. And 21% more health. Bloody hell. 473 to 472. Evened up on the VPs then. Howling Banshees looking for a fight. Can they get past the heavy bolter? Looks like Zeno retargeted and then eats a grenade though. And another. Two models get away on those Havocs. Heretics with Aspiring Champion trying to hold the line against the Banshees, but they couldn't do it, and a power melee kick there takes out the Plague Champion on retreat. Can Palaz get a revive? Quite a lot of heresy involved in that, but I'm sure a brother captain would love some XP. Meanwhile, interceptors on the field for Jamboo, running away from the scary Merciless Witchblade Warlock. Also have the Champion's Robe here, so this guy's going to be a fearsome combatant quite early, even at level 1. Merciless Witchblade is very painful, and Champion's Robe allows him to stay in combat longer with the shield. Howling Banshees diving on power here. With a whole bunch of support, Double Guardians can redirect their fire on... This is Pallas stuff coming over to try and help. And Onslaught injectors in for the Eversor Assassin. More charge range and a bit more speed every time he gets up a tech level. And a bit more melee skill too. Doesn't sound like a lot, +1 melee skill, but that can make a big difference in the close melee fights, getting that special attack off. Warlock is going to go down here. Nice idea on the grenade, but it actually stopped because they'd already killed the Warlock. And that could be tricky to revive. Although they do have a teleporting ally, so maybe they can get over there. That's like the other side of the map, though. Mickey's Warlock did get away with that merciless Witchblade, of course. More heretics up for Zeno with grenade launchers and a purgation squad for Pallas. They had the double stormtroopers up. Brother Captain himself, no war gear for the Plague Champion either. Anything else we can spot here? Nope. Nothing new. Looks like we're looking for tier 2s. RaksoMan already there in tier 2. Did get big shooters on the shooter boys and did get burners on the sluggers, but a relatively light tier 1. Yeah, tough for the sluggers to approach that. With double stormtroopers and purgation and strike squad shooting them all. Looks like the Mekboy trying to kick things off with some suppression. Can't suppress that Brother Captain though. It looks like that was the energy burst to mess with the Mekboy's energy. Sluggers now looking for a fight. They're going to be focused pretty hard here, though. Pretty hard. Brother Captain able to sail on through, stomping and breaking stuff. And looks like we're going to see a decap from Pallas. Could maybe rotate over to this power as well. Here comes Mickey to defend. With double guardians and that potentially quite painful to deal with Warlock. Merciless Witchblade with that knockback on ranged attacks as well is kind of nuts. 410 to 445 on the VPs, 2-1 for red. Capping these contested western points. There's some Nurgle worship for the health regen, 3.5 per second, I believe it is. Eversor didn't manage to level up. It's kind of hanging out at the moment, allowing Zeno to take the brunt of the action. What was that going to be? A warp throw maybe from SorroWfuL lived, but the Warlock goes down. I don't know if they got revived or if they had to repurchase over there. Interceptors jumping into a bad spot with Howling Banshee, double Howling Banshees with Aspect of Strength on one of them and the Exarch. Psychon popped by the Eversor Assassin. That's his starting ability. More damage resistance, but you spend health to activate it, and he may go down, and there's that detonation on death there. Howling Banshees think are okay for Mickey. Yes, they are. And here comes SorroWfuL lived Howling Banshees, who are quite dangerous with their Exarch and their Aspect. Havocs will stop them in their tracks, though. Shuriken needs to push up a bit there. Autark dropped in. That was a nasty drop. Did that just wipe some CSM? Oh, it wiped the Havocs. That was a very, very good drop for SorroWfuL lived, wiping Havocs there. Meanwhile, red team getting their VP decapped by sluggers who now have a Nob leader. Couldn't quite finish the cap though. Strike squad were looking for a fight. And I don't think that would have been a good fight for them because they took a bunch of damage moving in. Sluggers would have messed them up. But I guess the strike squad also had support. Falcon on the field now for Mickey. Brings it to the eastern side to support. This thing can reinforce allied infantry and they can jump inside of it. Has some decent weaponry for a support vehicle too. And actually damage other vehicles and stuff. Big array of guns on it. Some of which can rotate more than others and stuff. The one on top can rotate 360, I believe. The one on the front obviously can't. 366 to 428 on the VPs. Mekboy teleporting back and gets a good lock onto that strike squad who drop a model. And they now have their Justicar. That was a conversion beamer shot. Anti-vehicle weapon trying to get a shot on the Falcon. Couldn't quite manage it. It does slow down stuff, but you can activate Electro Pulse to slow things down even more, I think. Minus 40% speed. And it does more damage the further away the target is, which is kind of interesting. I assume that's a thing in tabletop. 2-to-1 cap for blue team. Pushing down that west side are the double Eldar with an Autark in play. Has her spear now, providing a damage resistance aura around her, and has that nifty leap into a heal and a damage buff on those Banshees. If she could do that leap on the double Banshees, that would be huge value on that damage buff. Maybe we'll see some enhance as well to go alongside that. There's that warp throw. Don't see anything new on Mickey. Terminator Librarian in, throwing a smite down. Eversor Assassin tried to get in there, couldn't last too long, and goes for a Neuro Gauntlet. No attempt to go for the Executioner Pistol and try to slow down the Banshees then, just wants to fight him. Oh, this Autark's being skyleapt. Skyleapt, I guess? Skyleaped. She can now be called down for a reduced cost, and you get those impact grenades again, and of course, instant mobility anywhere that you can see with her. Shuriken, you need to turn around there, buddy. Not sure what those heretics are up to. But we do have a Chaos Dreadnought for Zeno. Starts with an autocannon, an underslung twin-linked heavy bolter. Or I guess it's just a twin-linked bolter, is it? And a big old mean-looking claw. Falcon getting shots on it now, though. Banshee's going in as well. This default Dreadnought of Chaos has a reduced melee resistance aura, I believe, down to 20%. Regular melee resistance is 40%. I mean, it's nice to have any melee resistance on a ranged walker, really. 366 to 333. Interceptors teleporting in and then thinking again about their life choices and running away. Decently timed grenade barrage there, but can this thing survive? Falcon is giving chase. There's some Nurgle worship, which will affect the Dreadnought. Looks like it's far enough away from the Falcon. The Falcon doesn't want to dive anymore. Banshee's giving chase on some strike squad now. So that autocannon will threaten the Falcon. And I assume with the hit point discrepancy that the Dreadnought could easily take on the Falcon 1v1, but of course with the Banshees around, it's not going to be a 1v1. Assault armor in for the Eversor Assassin now. Allows him to charge. More health regen, and with the Onslaught Injectors, he's going to have some good mobility because of the charge range on this and the speed every tier. And that was the... what is it called again? I've forgotten what it's called. But the Eversor Assassin's fallen down. Not hypermetabolism. The other globally has that does a bunch of damage around him. Who can remember things? Brother Captain, are you going to be... I think he's alright. I think he's alright. Bio Meltdown, that's it. Bio Meltdown. It came to me eventually. There's a bunch of damage around him, and if he dies with Bio Meltdown active, Eversor explodes even more than usual. He gets very excited. Nob Squad on the way for RaksoMan. Wraithguard on the way for SorroWfuL. There's that Terminator Librarian going for Codicum Aeternum, which is an ability that can infiltrate a unit and give it a damage bonus, I believe. And a Vindicare Assassin is in for Palaz, with Exodus rounds loaded in for anti-infantry damage. Trying to hold the mid is Zeno here with some Nurgle worship and a big old Dreadnought. Some Plague Marines in play too. Warlock's having a word. Gets all fancy with his special attack. Now with the shield up, becomes a pain in the arse to deal with, eh? Autarks hanging back for now. There's the Wraithguard coming in with those big old Wraith Cannons that will tear apart anything with their shots. It's a strange place to put Sanctuary. Does it give you range damage resistance? I don't think it does. It just knocks stuff around. Well, I guess it's going to come in handy now. Those things got knocked away a bit. The Terminator Librarian does make it out, but these Stormtroopers do not. Banshee's leveled to 2. Finally have their Exarch coming in. Maybe she's just been repurchased. Where's that Nob Squad at? They're just hanging out at base at the moment. Sluggers didn't get to level. Red team looking strong in the mid now. What can the Wraithguard do? They can instantly get tied up by a strike squad. Wraithguard do not like being caught in melee. Maybe worth the Brother Captain getting the Nemesis Force Sword upgrade because he can affect a lot of stuff with his buff here. It's relatively cheap as well. Bright Lance trying to get shots on the Dreadnought now. Falcon needs to back away a bit. The Plague Marines are a threat to it, so is that Dreadnought, of course. Mekboy getting into a rough spot. Nob Squad having a look at stuff. They do have Mina and Greener. And now the Nob Leader's on the way. These guys are awesome melee units, very powerful. Can rip apart anything with their axes. 336 to 286 on the VPs. 2-1 for blue. Can the Vindicator get shots from there? Maybe not. These guys are in an awkward spot hiding behind things. Like Sneaky Eldar. RaksoMan asking for nukes. No, I don't think any of them do. Fire Prism on the way for Mickey. SorroWfuL lived. Goes tier 3. There's tier 3 for Jamboo. Looks like Zeno, the last player to go. Getting that Dreadnought up was expensive. There's been a decent line holder here. Should it be pushing the west side though? Blue team are kind of holding them in the mid, but there's not a lot to fight over. There's this wreck point, and they could push through to there, but they're not doing any VP pressure at the moment, the red team. Oh, maybe these guys are looking to do so. Interceptors and the very pissed off Eversor Assassin, who's level 3 now, doing a lot of damage with the Neuro Gauntlet. Doing damage over time and a big chunk of power melee damage on hit as well. Attacks really fast. Plague Fist in for the Plague Champion. Fighting a Warlock. And Armor of Pestilence to make him tougher. Nob Squad on the chase. Take down the Brother Captain. They now have their Jammers. Jammers better than the Choppers, I guess. And Paladins called in by Palas. These guys unique to the Brother Captain. With Nemesis Demon Hammers. Not amazing at fighting fully upgraded Nob Squad though, to be honest. They don't have like splash damage power weapons or anything. But the Nob Squad run got a bit of XP. You have some CSM with Bloodlust activated. Not Bloodlust, Slaughter. But they can draw their melee weapons. Big shot there from the Purgation Squad right on the edge of their range. I hear Banshees yelling. Didn't want to fight a Strike Squad though for long. Level 2 Strike Squad. Level 2 Banshees. Kind of surprised they ran from that fight. Maybe they were lower than I thought when they started. A Seer Council on the field now for SorroWfuL lived. Elite melee squad that can leap on you and provide a damage resistance aura to themselves and allies around them. These days they can get heavy melee spears as well. Red team successfully taking the blue team's natural despite Fire Prism having a bead on them. Palas now getting Grey Knight Terminators and Paladins up. With not much effort it seems. Maybe he's done a really good job preserving stuff. Seems to have plenty of... It's going to be painful. Plenty of resources to use. Interceptor's taking a nasty grenade. And the Eversor Assassin did go down over here. Oh, looks like hypermetabolism was active. Because there's the vulnerable state of it proccing there. Can they defend the power? Palas and Zeno are going to try. There's Sanctuary, very useful against the Seer Council. Paladins go after them. Can the Seer Council get away? I think they're alright. Falcon pushing up kind of far here. Maybe trying to bait the Paladins into a teleport. Fire Prism staying the hell away from stuff. Quite vulnerable of Fire Prism. Has really good range though. Dreadnought, are you going to shoot stuff, buddy? There you go. Shooting at the Warlock, 287 to 229. It's very close on the VPs. Banshee's yelling at the Strike Squad. Warlock helping him out with the Witchblade of Kernus there. Awesome power melee weapon. And that warp throw still in play, of course. Conversion beam is setting up. 2 Eldar vehicles in its sights. Falcon's in trouble. Big rear armor hit there, and the Plague Marines as well. Down goes the Falcon. That thing had the shield also. Fire Prism needs to keep moving. Oh wow, how did that get a shot? That seemed to be well out of the firing arc. And it got a big old shot on the Fire Prism there. Good engagement for the red team, mate. Really good fight. Lots of stuff dead. Avatar of Cain on the way from Mickey. They do still have a Seer Council, which will be great at fighting the Paladins, actually. I think they'll trade relatively well with them. Is the Autark alive? The Autark is not alive. Did we see the Grey Knight Terminators? There they are. Grey Knight Terminators are in. The Palas. Getting a Liber Demonica for Incinerate and stuff. 287 to 197 on the VPs. Shooter Boy's wiped, but not a huge deal for RaksoMan if you get some flash kits up or something. And there's a battle wagon. Meanwhile, as expected, West Side has turned red, and we have more Grey Knight Terminators for Jamboo here. Got their Psy Cannon in. A decent weapon, I think. I think it's much more useful to pick that up than the Paladin's Flamer thing. Over 20 DPS Psy Cannon on that model there. 285 to 197. Eversor Assassin pops the Psychon, trying to fight some Banshees. Taking a lot of damage though. Ah, but they didn't finish him off. Maybe the Guardians can. He's trying to run. That is hypermetabolism again, I believe. And then he blows up. 275 to 197. Hypermetabolism gives him more health and energy regen. There's the Avatar of Cain. Are the Grey Knight Terminators going to fight it right now? They are. Strat Squad not so sure. Neither are the Interceptors, who are going for their Psy Cannons now. That was a Wrath of Cain, knocking stuff back. Yeah, Grey Knight Terminator should do well against that thing. It doesn't like power melee damage. It's got a ton of hit points, but it will chew through it decently well. On the east side, big old ruckus. Paladins in there, Plague Marines in there, Nob Squad in there. And there we see Ward. I assume is what that is. Yep. From the Nemesis warding stuff. Couldn't see the Paladin. Couldn't see the brother captain there, I mean. Battle Wagon having a look. Meets a whole bunch of anti-vehicle damage in the form of that autocannon and those Plague Marines. Plague Fist having a look at it too. But he gets far enough away. And does have some good weaponry, the Battle Wagon. Big Zap Gun. And a bunch of Daka. Wailing Doom. A few hits in there. This Dreadnought's in a really bad spot. Gonna go down, I think. Down it goes. Zeno has a great unclean one on the field. Super unit for Chaos. Passively damages nearby enemies. Powerful melee and some nasty abilities. Going to worship it as a demon, as you would expect. A Rock's thrown in by a RaksoMan. Pummeled some stuff. Wailing Doom again. Hits the Great Unclean One, who is going to get away okay. 215 to 197. The Avatar has some awesome area of effect buffs. If you can get the Avatar buffing the Nob Squad, that could turn the melee fights. Grey Knight Terminators going in. A bunch of Psy Cannons from the Interceptors. Autark jumps them. Great Unclean One has a word with her. There's a foul snare. She does make it out though. There's Incinerate on the Seer Council. Avatar needs to move, I think. Great Unclean One throws in the Cloud of Flies. It's like a big stinky stomp. And there's the Vomit too. Taking a lot of damage though. Wraith Guard. Buffed by something. Was that enhanced? Eldritch. Big Eldritch Storm thrown in. Maybe some friendly fire on the Nob Squad. Who are going to be okay. Did back off that Great Unclean One though, eh? Ethereal Slash there from SorroWfuL lived. Yes, we do have... Oh, it's Heart of Darkness. It's not Falchu's Wing. I don't know what buff I saw on those guys then there. So Heart of Darkness will help Mickey charge up his shield. 190 to 188 on the VPs. Heretics running away. Very, very even fight. West side turning red though. Going to be a 2-1 for them. They're going to get a little lead at least. Land Raider Crusader coming in for Jamboo and another Seer Council, this time for Mickey. Look at this. SorroWfuL lived with double fire prisms. They're doing some good work as well, eh? Chaos Terminators now for Zeno. Now, do they get autocannon to try and shoot down those fire prisms and generally just shred the Eldar infantry and stuff and get those debuffs, or do they lightning claw to fight the Nobs and the Avatar and the Seer Council? Because we now have 2 Nob squads here. It's a big decision for Zeno to make, I think. I generally like seeing claws in because they're just so good at their job, you know. But I can understand not wanting a big slow melee unit all the time, no matter how good it is. Eversor is level 3, and Wraithguard capping Western VP, so blue are going to get a 2-to-1. Crusaders coming in could help them hold this western side. There's that great unclean one. Can the Wraithguard get the cap finished? They can. The Fire Prisms using their focused shots to try and damage those Granite Terminators. Here comes a Battle Wagon with perhaps Nobs inside of it. There's a Sanctuary, big zap gun shot. Some good disruption there. Wailing Doom. A decent hit, Incinerate on the Seer Council and a few Banshees. Meanwhile, Eversor Assassin is in there, tearing stuff up. Nob Squad disgorged from the Battle Wagon and immediately almost wipe. Interceptors over there. Looks like they have made it out. Now they're fighting. Oh, those are Lightning Claw Chaos Terminators over there. Top of your screen fighting a Nob Squad. Another Nob Squad comes in though. Noble Worship is helping out the Terminators. Land Raider Crusaders in now. Hurricane Bolters on the side, sponsors Twin into Salt Cannon and a Multi-Melter. Could reinforce off it and get some health and energy regen. Terminators, are they going to jump inside of it? They can now reinforce over there. Nob Squad did a good job fighting them. Avatar needs to back off now. A close fight, nobody able to push through off it. But we still have a Nob Squad here. Is that super tough beam as well? An awesome buff, 40% damage resistance and immune to knockback and suppression. But it's a very expensive upgrade for the Mekboy. I think it's 50 power, maybe even more. Double cap for the red team now. Crusader comes out at just the right time, eh? Blue team trying to put pressure on this, but there was some Marco Zint CSM there. Level 4 Marco Zint CSM. There's a triple cap for the red team. Big Champion doing some decent work there, I think. Now the Battle Wagon needs repairs. There's triple Fire Prisms for SorroWfuL. Mickey gets some more Seer Council. Oh, maybe they didn't make it out of that fight. I was too busy watching the Nobs and the Terminators fighting. 99 to 149 on the VPs. Double cap for red. Do blue team have one last big push in them? What is this? Sneaky Guardians. Oh, was that a webway being taken out there, maybe? The Inquisitorial Stormtroopers get some very late plasma guns in. It'll help with the DPS against the Nob Squad, and they have the overcharged shot to suppress them, maybe. Could be a hugely epic push here by the blue team. They're running out of VPs, though. Yeah, still got to keep pressuring this. Banshee should just go after the CSM here. There's Distortion Field from the Warlock to give them some range damage resistance, and they're in on the CSM. Here comes some support, which is pulling them from the west side. Banshees will try to stay in play and keep these guys pulled here. Fleeting away with that Distortion Field. Just keep being a threat, and the blue team get their push going with an Avatar leading the way. A decent Wailing Doom hit on the Terminators. Interceptors teleporting in. Shooting at the Autarch of all things. That was a weird teleport to do. They should maybe wait for the lines to clash and then try to go after the Fire Prisms, maybe. The Fire Prisms will be very vulnerable to them on rear armor. Mega Rumbler from the Mekboy gets a big retreat from Pallas. And the Banshees top right of your screen are capping that VP. Look at that. Awesome play. Distracted the red team and then stayed in play to get the cap. Looks like there's a Noble Shrine over there. Incinerate affecting Oh, one of the Nob squads and the Sluggers. I think Super Tough Beam stopped the other guys from being lifted up there. Chaos Terminators are chasing the Nobs. Do they have a lot of support here, the double Nobs? I don't think they do. Eldritch Storm thrown in. Cloud of Flies. Triple Fire Prisms now pushing with a Wailing Doom. 48 to 113. Imperial Abyss in the back from Zeno. And an Orbital from one of the Ordo Malleus players. All kicking off here. Can they get that Crusader down? Fire Prisms are trying. Had to expose themselves a bit to do it, but they did get it down. One of the Fire Prisms drops. Can the other two get away? Looks like they have. Maybe a bit awkward to find the time to repair them now, though. Avatar of Pain also trying to make it out. Red team counter-pushing, no. Counter-pushing onto the VP, and they're going to try and decap it. Avatar, you okay there, buddy? Stops to do a Wrath of Cain and survives somehow. Seer Council able to get in on the interceptors there. Now the battle wagon's in big trouble. Looks like it's maybe far enough away from any threats at the moment. 48 to 61, a single for blue. Warlock trying to fight some Terminators. Looks like the Providence was up there. And Terminators, what did he do? Teleported, oh, to there. But they went much further for a second. Right, the captain takes back his natural VP. Level 6. Mickey considering some Warp Spiders there, then cancels it. And we do have a D-Cannon in play for SorroWfuL Lived. That could make a big difference at the end of the game here. So close still. Red team, no. When the dust settles, have taken that VP. And even got a decap here. Well played, Zeno. The CSM grabbing a decap. That could be telling. That gives him a double cap here now. Mekboy's back on the cap. But that was a very effective double there. Gets the blue team under 20 VPs. Grenade chucked in. Not a whole lot else the Guardians can do. Eversor making it in to the D-Cannon. Did that take a bunch of friendly fire there? From the Fire Prism? It looked like it did. Maybe it was just a vicious special attack from the Eversor's level 5. More Seer Council for SorroWfuL Lived now. GG, says Zeno. Oh, it was a 2-to-1 cap. So close. Awesomely fought from both teams there. Level 5 Warlock for Mickey. Level 5 Warlock for SorroWfuL Lived. And level 4 Mekboy. What do we got here? Level 5 Eversor Assassin. Level 6 Plague Champion. Back at base healing up. And the Brother Captain level 6 with that Nemesis Warding Staff. Awesome last push there. Counter push from the red team. Keeping their big durable units in play. And getting onto the VP. Got them the victory. And there you have it, guys. An awesome 3v3, I think. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you next time.